Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another week on the Highbury Squad. We're back. It's a little Monday madness, and I'm flying solo, but I'm happy to have you squaddies alongside me. Here we go. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a live edition of the Highbury Squad. Welcome. Happy Monday to all. I hope you had a fabulous weekend. Let me know what you did, if you got up to any mischief, adventures, if you're having a good summer so far. I am absolutely stoked today because my partner, Tony, returned from visiting family. She was gone for 9 days, and I was on puppy duty looking after little Vespa Valentina, who kind of has become the Emmanuel Petit to Vinny Vieira. You know, she's a good wingman, although sometimes, maybe she's got a little bit of an elevated perception of herself, whereas Vinny Vieira just gets stuck in, does the work, lets it all, lets his behavior do all the talking. Vespa's had a few accidents around the house. I've used a lot of Dettol, and I've pretty much run out of toilet paper. But anyway, other than that, how are you guys? Let's say hello to everybody in the chat. It's been a while. Well, let's see. We did a show on, God, I can't remember. Was it Friday or Thursday? With Super Kevin Campbell and Oliver Wilson. If you missed that show, go catch it. We had a very interesting debate about Xhaka. And yeah, that was good. Oh, hold on. I just got distracted. Ask. I'm finding out that love will kill and save me. I think we need to know what's happening in your life, because the squaddies here, I mean, this is therapy. This is a therapy room, like we can help you. I mean, Taib might not be able to help you, but some people will be able to help you. Good evening to you. Smash up the likes. Thank you so much. Jermaine Chambers, good evening. Exactly. We're going to get into all of that and more. Good evening to the squaddies. Good evening to all of our regular listeners. Looks like we have some trouble in the room tonight. Magic Mike is here. So, anything can happen when Magic Mike is in town. I really hope Eriksen will be able to play football again. I'm not sure, and that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is his health, his life. If you're his family and friends, my goodness, we're going to get stuck into that a little bit more. Hi, Wesbird. Good to see you back. Zamir, hello. And hi, Mark. How's it going? I'm going to put all of your messages up. I've missed you guys. It feels like we've been away. We are taking advantage of the Euros a little bit to take some time off. As you guys know, we went every single day during the lockdown series, volume 1 and 2, which was amazing. And, this is how we kind of built up our little squaddy nation and stuff like that. So I will be on every night this week. Kev will be back Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week. More signings, more announcements to make. I hope you've been enjoying those. Got some really cool people lined up for the show to participate next season. So I hope you've been following that on Twitter. More to come tomorrow. An exciting one to come tomorrow. And I don't want to say anything because in my world, I think we all know that saying something before it happens, you never really want to do that or be that person. But if this thing comes off that we have planned for the week after next, I'm just saying, that was like a drop the mic moment, but we'll see. Right, let's get stuck into this, shall we? Here's the show for tonight. I'm not going to be on for like an hour in Sophie time. I just really want it, and it was a horrible game. What is up with Spain? What is their right? Who are they? Morata missing that chance. Jordi Alba as captain. I think Enrique's played him 4 times in the last 6 or 7 months. And it seems to me that the Sergio Ramos thing, and I don't want to speak out of turn. This is one woman's opinion. It seems a bit personal, Seems like a little handbags at dawn over there. So yeah, it was boring. Let's get to it, shall we? There's a few things I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. Thanks so much for joining me. We're going to be coming at you at the 10 o'clock hour in the first 2 weeks of the Euros. You know that we usually broadcast at 8 o'clock UK time, but we can't do that to you. Who's going to broadcast at 8 o'clock when the games are on? No one, especially at that hour. So for the next 2 weeks, the shows will be coming to you at 10 o'clock at night in the UK, which is not prime time in the US, but it's a nice 2 o'clock in the afternoon for me. And wherever else in the world you may be, it might be early, it might be late. So, yeah. Mississippi. Good evening, Andrew from Mississippi. You farming sheep. Wow, 103. That's crazy. Let me know where in the world you guys are as well. I don't know how Spain didn't win that. And, you know, another reminder to Chelsea fans that they dodged more bullets getting rid of Morata. It was boring. Good evening, Priska. Hi, Raoul. And good evening to everyone. Right, let's get stuck into this because this Monday madness is usually madness, but today's kind of a mellow madness, right? I'm calling it Monday Mellow, but I'm not going to change the thumbnails or any of that garbage, okay? Things happen this weekend that are a reminder about life. And look, you guys, we've been together every night since lockdown. It's been a year plus. We've been talking football. We've been going through changes. We're living through a pandemic. No one knows their arse from their elbow, their left from their right. We're relying on all these leaders and scientists to guide us through this. But at the end of the day, we're human beings, right? And we have all been through a lot. And I think if there's anything about this last year and this weekend, it's a reminder about life being no dress rehearsal. There's no retake. It's not a Stanley Kubrick movie. 72 takes, one scene for Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman in Eyes Wide Shut. This is it. Our life is now. We are in the moment. It's happening every single day. We go to sleep, we wake up, it's another day, blank canvas. What do you want to paint? What pictures do you want to paint? What stories do you want to tell? What kind of life do you want to live? What kind of life do we all want to live? And so for tonight's Monday Mellow Madness, I wanted to, yes, talk a little bit about football, but at the same time about sports and how sports reminds us oftentimes, because we love it so much, the value of life. And I especially wanted to share that with all of you because you guys have been there for me. You've been there for this show. And, you know, regardless of what happens, the Highbury squad is you, the people. This is what people tend to forget sometimes. This show exists because of you. Without you, there's no one to talk to. There's nothing to say. Who's going to listen? And so I just wanted to show my gratitude again to each and every one of you because, you know, it's been a tough time. It's been a tough year. I think I've told you guys this before. I saw my dad lose his brother and his sister-in-law, my aunt and uncle to COVID. I mean, it was national news in England. You know, they passed away days apart from each other. You know, they were married for, it's poetic really when you think about it, married for 60 plus years. And then they pass away within days of each other from COVID. You know, it's just, again, another reminder. Things happen again and again to people, and they've happened to so many good people over the last year. You know, this is why we can never Control C. Is that copy and paste? And then is it Control Z to bring it back? No, we can't do that. It's about today, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day, right? And so I just wanted to talk about what we witnessed this weekend, firstly. Wesbird, I'm sorry that you lost your mum in February and brother-in-law 2 weeks ago. It's heartbreaking, mate. Honestly. Heartbreaking. My heart goes out to you. You know, sometimes we get caught up in everything that's going on in life. And I just feel like now's the time to reflect on a few things and talk about a few things, especially when we witnessed what we did over the weekend. And Wesbird, I know I speak for the entire Squaddy Nation where we say we are sorry for your loss. And, you know, there are other people who have been on this show who have also experienced loss. It's not my place to talk about that. But let me just tell you that there are people that have lost people that are very important in their lives, right? And so we have each other. We have goodness. We have good conversation. We may agree or disagree at times, but you know what? We have each other. And, you know, this exactly can come at any time. It can't be taken for granted. So let's shift into this because, listen, there's been times where we've yelled at Christian Eriksen as Arsenal fans. But we all know that when we did play Spurs, he was definitely a player that we were weary of, that we knew had talent, that we knew could change a game on a whim. What we saw this weekend, my hair's just going up thinking about it. I don't know about you guys, and let's just, like, it's a therapy room tonight, right? Let's talk about it. I was stunned. I sat and I never moved. It felt a little bit like 9/11. It felt like when Princess Diana died. I'm not saying it's that scale, but the scale of the audience, the fact that the world was watching, that this was the Euros, we'd been waiting so long. And that when you see a supreme athlete who goes through all of the medical checks all and ticks all the right boxes to be able to play football at that level, you know, and to see that, I know we were all stunned and in disbelief. And this has got zero to do with who you support, who you love, what country you're from, what color you are, what religion you believe in. This is the perfect example of when something like that happens, how we can come together as people, that humanity is still alive and well and it exists, that we care about people, whether we agree or disagree. And let me tell you something about why I wanted to talk about this today. Because a lot of the times we put our athletes on pedestals. We put these actors who play supposed superheroes in movies on pedestals. We make them larger than life. But you know who the real superheroes are in life? It's the medics. It's the people that don't earn 100 grand a week, 250 grand a week. It's the people who are fighting to increase their hourly rate. It's the people who live ordinary lives but do extraordinary things. And what happened with Christian Eriksen in that game was unbelievable. You know, we'll pay Liam Hemsworth or whatever his name is, how much? 15 million to play Thor against a green screen. These medics who ran onto the pitch to save Christian Eriksen's life, these people are amazing people. If Eriksen was at home or on a beach or driving his car and that happened to him, he wouldn't be here today. We heard the Danish doctor talk about how he was gone. You guys saw the images, his eyes. It was shocking. It was frightening. And I wanted to take a time out today to give the medics a shout out. What they do, firemen run into burning buildings while we're running out. These medics run to save lives. They don't even know us. And what they did this weekend was just another reminder of how special they are and how we're insignificant without them. It's really, really astonishing. And you're right, Mark. Most heroes do not wear capes. And 100%, eyes open. Fabrice, when you see him tweeting and you think the dude was dead on a pitch at White Hart Lane and medics brought him back. It is quite incredible. And the captain of Denmark, you're right, Mark. People who are cognizant of the moment, they understand the severity, what he did, clearing his air path, making sure he wasn't swallowing his tongue. I mean, we were watching a football match, you guys. A football match. And it kind of took me to another moment, right? The referee did, Archie, you're right. Anthony Taylor acted immediately. He was right there with Eriksen. He saw his face. He saw the severity of what was happening. People are at a game, you guys, and they're watching a player, an elite player, who, how ironic is it that he's playing in his home country, he's playing in Denmark, get resuscitated. And then his teammates creating a human shield. I mean, these are moments. These are moments that remind us that we're human beings. You know, that life is so fragile. And in the moment, as human beings, we react, we do things to support and help each other. And he was dead. You saw it in his eyes. And so today, I wanted to talk about these things because we argue about tactics and playing a back three, or, you know, who's going to play are we going to play a false nine and all these things. But we are human before anything else, and we have to remember these things. And to see that he's come through this is unbelievable. It's a miracle. It is an absolute miracle. And I wanted to intertwine that a little bit into my second talking point of the night, because what the medics did for Christian Eriksen was incredible. We also then forget that athletes are human beings. Think about it. I sat here last night and I was thinking, wow, I've criticized a lot of players this year. We all have. What have we asked these players to do since COVID? We've minimized their summer break. We've asked them to play more games in short spaces of time. And now we're putting on a global competition, not only in Europe. I don't know if you guys who are in Europe or anywhere else in the world, but I'm watching Copa America here, which is happening now. Messi's playing today. Neymar played last night. We're asking these athletes to be superhuman. And I stopped for a second last night and I said to myself, wow, think of what they've been through. They have family, they have friends, they have kids. They're going out, they're playing, especially at the start of COVID. Tested here, tested there, shoving something up your nose here, shoving something up your nose there. You can't do this, you can't do that, but you've got to play football. You've got to play football. And I'm not saying that playing too much is why what happened to Eriksen happened to Eriksen. We don't know that. We are not medical experts here. All I'm saying is that we've asked them to do so much in a short space of time. And yes, they get paid a lot of money. But at the same time, we've also asked them in a time where we've all protected ourselves at home, stayed at home. They've been the ones going out and entertaining. Sometimes it feels to me like the Hunger Games. You know, may the odds forever be in your favor. And dear God, I hope the odds are always in every single player's favor. Feels like Gladiator, you know, Maximus, Russell Crowe goes out. And you know, the only way you're coming out of that arena, if you lose, you're dead. If you win, you go on to fight another day, to live and not die. And sometimes I think, and Newman says this well, no one has empathy for very wealthy young men. People are jealous. This is true. This is 100% true. And I think that I say so this, if a player can get £500,000 a week, 100 grand a week, 50 grand a week, if that's what the market's demanding, then that's what he's going to be paid. If someone comes to me and says, hey, I'd love to take your show on this channel or this channel, we're going to pay you X amount of money, you guys, we would all do it. If you were offered a job today from another company that was going to pay you more, thousands more, you would take it. Number one, it's what's in your best interest. And number two, it's what is in the best interest of your family. And, it's a really tricky fine line. And I think that this was such a humbling weekend, right? And my second point is that I watched Stefanos Tsitsipas play in the French Open final. I'm Greek, okay? My heart and soul is Greek. I was born and raised in London. I support England in the Euros. It's the country where I got my education. It's where I grew up. I love England. It's in my blood. But my blood is Greek. My parents, my family, my everything about the way I grew up and live. I had the blessing of both worlds where I grew up Gringlish, if you like. So I'm watching Stefanos Tsitsipas. And again, here we are thinking athletes are robots. They're human. And when they do superhuman things, superhuman athletic things all the time with their bodies, we think they're impenetrable, right? And athletes are built with a different chip. They oftentimes drive us insane with their ability to perform magic the way they do. But behind that stoic exterior of the athlete is a human and a person with feelings, with family, with friends. And when I found out, I was so proud to be a Greek person and cheer Tsitsipas this weekend. He's a rising star. He's a global superstar in the making. And that doesn't happen often to us Greeks. Si faldanda Sokratis Papastadopoulos. I jest a little bit here. But we're proud of Sokratis too, because he's the first Greek to have ever won an FA Cup. But Tsitsipas is on a totally different plane and level. There are many people who would love him to take the mantle off Roger Federer when Federer retires. Because why? He's a good person. He has good intentions. He wants to do good things. He wants to better the world. He wants to help kids. He has a good soul. And 5 minutes before he went out for the French Open final, he found out his grandmother died. He couldn't call in sick. He couldn't ask for a day off. He was going to play one of the greatest tennis players of our lifetime, Novak Djokovic, in a final. And Tsitsipas looked like he was going to win that match. But he's human. He lost his grandmother, one of his inspirations. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think his grandmother might be blind. So he's never really seen play. She hears him. She's proud of him. And so for him to go through that game, knowing that just happened, and he only found out 5 minutes before his match. Like MK says, they put their bodies on a limit. And you know what? There's no difference when your heart goes if you're wealthy or a pauper. This is 100% correct. So the point is that at the end of the day, humans, we're all human. And it doesn't matter if you're earning 500 grand a week or 13,000 a year. We're human. We all sleep, eat, and shit. There's no difference. What's different about us is what we do for a living, what we do with our life. And so between Christian Eriksen and Tsitsipas, and people will say, oh, yeah, but you know what? I'm not sure I could have gone out and gone to work if my grandmother had passed away and my mind wasn't in it. The Denmark players having to come back and play that game after seeing their comrade, their friend, their wingman die on the pitch and be brought back to life. Incredible. What we ask of these athletes sometimes is inhumane when we're supposed to look at it from a human perspective. Sampras was Greek. He was a Greek American. He's Greek. Sampras was Greek, but he played as an American. Tsitsipas is playing as a Greek. It means so much. It's really easy when you come from a country where there's superstars left, right, and center, the Olympics, tennis, football, that's why 2004 remains the greatest sporting night of my life. To see Greece win the Euros before England, I would never have taken that bet. To see Tsitsipas doing what he's doing and to know that he went out on the court and did what he did, knowing that his grandmother died. All I'm saying is, you guys, is that sometimes we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, right? And I just think to have asked the team to come back and play that game, my goodness, can you imagine? It's like you're at a wedding, right? Because playing a football game in this tournament, it's a celebration. It's a celebration of a nation's success. They've gotten there. Now they're in the game. They're in a group. They could go on and win it. Fans are there. We haven't been in the stadium for how long? It's a celebration. And that something like that happens. So imagine you're at like a birthday or a wedding. Do you think the wedding's going to continue after something like that happens? Absolutely not. So I just wanted to say that, respect to the athlete today, respect to these sports people. They sacrifice their lives. Look, I was watching the US women's national team last night. Carly Lloyd, 39 years old, scoring goals still for her country. I mean, it's ridiculous. She's a two-time FIFA World Player of the Year. She's won the Olympics twice. She's won the World Cup twice. She could go on and win another Olympics. So decorated, she was number 5 on my list, but I'm bringing her up in terms of the talking points. Sacrificing, 39 years old, had surgery, clearly still has that gusto, the balls to go out and play and perform after she's achieved so much. And so sometimes I think we need to just take a deep breath and ask ourselves, okay, what are we asking athletes to do in this time? And it worries me. About players who play for our team. And even though Christian Eriksen played for Spurs, that doesn't even matter. What matters is life. And to see his partner on the sidelines, and we could talk about how we felt the media handled it. I mean, that was harsh. To see, that's where I lost it completely. When I saw her on the sideline and Schmeichel and the Danish captain consoling her, I lost it completely. Because all I could think about in that moment was, holy shit, his family are watching this. His best friends, his friends are watching this. So we are struggling with it. Can you imagine being his partner, his kids, his mum, his dad, his aunt, his uncle, brother, sister, whatever? You just don't pan the camera when someone is in the most private moment of their life, fighting for their life, you guys. And the camera panned on that. The people in the stadium are already traumatized by what's going on. They can't hide from it. They can look away. But I just think at some point we have to say enough is enough. Yes, it's news, but it shouldn't be news, and it shouldn't be in real time broadcast when someone is laying there fighting for their lives and their family don't even know what's happening. That was to me the harshest part of that. So number 1, Christian Eriksen. Number 2 was Tsitsipas. I weaved Carly Lloyd into that for number 3 because I really want to make sure this coming season, you're going to see it. We've got Demi and Arriaga coming on, who's going to cover Arsenal women for us. We're going to have a lot more on that front as well. I wanted to give a shout out to Carly Lloyd. She is one of my all-time favorite football players, let alone female players, a shining example and a beacon to young women everywhere about how you handle life, deal with life, that people may say you can't, but you can. I mean, I think these things are inspiring as well. So even though I'm bringing up like what happened to Christian Eriksen, the fact that he was able to battle through it, medics saved his life, what a positive, uplifting story it's become as opposed to a tragedy. Stefanos Tsitsipas goes out, he gives his all. He learned his grandmother died. He tried his best. It didn't happen, but his own words, the way he said it, talking about experience and the fact that these are the things, these are the moments, adversity, how you overcome them, and showing a human element and side and sensitivity to himself and sharing that, again, opening up. I just don't think we appreciate some of these things about these athletes. And yeah, it's a bit deep, I know, but I think it was important today. Number one, it was important for me to share it with you because I always want the content to come from a real place. You know, we can sit here and talk transfers and everything. We'll do that tomorrow. But for today, it was more of what have we witnessed? What have we seen? What does it mean to us as human beings? How do we connect with sports? What does sports mean to us? What do athletes mean to us? And sometimes it all gets a little bit wishy-washy and lost in the money and the data and the analytics and all of that. But the core of it, we're sports fans. We love our football. We love our sports stars. You know, we get sucked into these moments. They define moments of our lives. We can go back and look at, you know, moments in our lives and attribute them to sporting events that we experienced. And I think that's what I want. That's why I wanted to come on today and just have a quick chat with all of you to also just kind of reiterate, man, we got to grab this life by the balls while we can. We got to shake those balls. We got to squeeze them. Okay, now, you know, that analogy, let's strike that. But you guys know exactly what I'm saying. Grab life by the balls, squeeze it, don't let it go. Soak up every single moment of every single day. And this weekend just made me think about how I wanted to come on tonight for Monday Madness and just talk about that and how it made me feel. And I wanted to know how you guys felt as well. All right. Let's switch gears a little bit before I go, because I do have two other points and we're going to lighten the mood a little bit for sure. Xhaka goes blonde. Huh? Xhaka goes blonde. What is this? I ask you. Xhaka, new hair, don't care. New start, new beginnings. I'm off to Rome, so I'm going to go blonde. I'm bored at the Euros and there's so much downtime in between training that I went and bought something from the supermarket and decided to dye my hair blonde. Is he sending a message or is he just completely and utterly bored? What did you guys think of Xhaka's hair? Yeah. It's kind of crazy and blonde and stuff like that. Thank you guys, by the way. I appreciate all of your notes. I'm going to have a moderator for next season. There's no doubt about that. No comment will go missed. And as you guys know, I try to put up as many comments as I can when you guys are chatting. There's no super chats on Highbury Squad. There never have been. There never will be. You're right, MK. It's a little bit it's a cross between Eminem and also the Ozil in LA hair. That's exactly the first thing I thought of. Not sure he's trying to pull off a Gaza Foden. Universal Greek thinks it's a confirmation he's a tart. That's, hey, come on now. Slap those wrists. Slap those wrists. Just because you're blonde, it doesn't mean that. I'm going to stand up for my blondies here. Okay, so Mike's going to start his podcast in just a second here. So make sure you go over to the Gooners podcast after I've wrapped up here. I've only got a couple of things left for you guys. But I did want to lighten the mood here at the end with Xhaka goes blonde. And then Tierney didn't play for Scotland today, right? So I just wanted to finish on this point, and then I've got some shout outs for you. Didn't feature. I'm worried. I'm worried about Tierney. And I think we have all been worried about Kieran Tierney. This is why acquiring a left back in the transfer window is key. We've said it many times on this show. Players like Tierney, even ESR, there are going to be periods of time where they're not going to be able to play. It seems inevitable. Touch wood, I'm wrong. But it seems inevitable that they're going to experience injuries. And the problem with losing these players, you guys, it's a hardship for a team like Arsenal. They give so much to the team. They enhance players around them. They play fearless football. And in Tierney's case, he's become a leader in the team. And those leadership qualities have lacked in recent times. So having a squad of players who are like-minded, talented to come in and cover, it's going to make or break us next season. You can't have Xhaka playing at left back. Well, he might be playing left back for Inter Milan. Oh, sorry, for Roma. You can't keep shifting Saka into left back either, because you don't want to make Saka the jack of all trades and master of none. Look at Greenwood, Rashford, Foden, Mount, Grealish. They know their position with their club. They play week in, week out. Greenwood, not as much. But these young English players, they're being nurtured. They're evolving. They're playing in a position that is going to be their star position for years and years and years. And I'm not saying that I don't want Saka playing left back if our left back is injured, because he's the best option we have. But we better make sure that we get cover for Kieran Tierney. And it's so important that we build our squad upwards and not sideways, because Saka's versatility is a beautiful thing. But we've got to set him up to succeed and not fail. And sometimes when Tierney's injured, if Saka goes into that role, the other thing, you guys, is there might be a time where Saka needs a rest, but he can't be rested because he's covering for Tierney, or he's covering for X, or he's covering for Y. I swear, I hope he's not the new Jack Wilshere. It's a serious tone for a serious time. There are serious things that happened over the weekend. We love football. But you know what? We're realists on this show. I'm not going to sit here and preach like, I don't know, a Disney movie. Although we love Disney movies, as long as they're Toy Story 1, 2, or 3. But yeah. No. Do not say that. No. I'm just going to remove that. All I'm saying is Tierney didn't play for Scotland. He wasn't even in the squad. So clearly there's an injury. And once again, it's a concern. So I'm just throwing it out there, and I hope that Arsenal do the right thing and buy a left back in this window, because it has a roll-on effect of the squad, and especially Saka, who, if he doesn't play for England in this tournament, I'm fine with that. On a personal level, I hope he gets to taste it and feel it and be involved in a game. But the whole point here is protecting the Arsenal players. And now Tierney, we know, is carrying something. Is he sick? I don't know. Does anyone know what happened to him? It's really concerning. Really concerning. So we talk about that a little bit more as the tournament goes, and we'll find out a little bit more about what's happening with Tierney. I think that's 5. I did my Carly Lloyd, I did my Xhaka, I did my Tierney, and I did Tsitsipas and Eriksen. And the other one was going to be, it's not coming home. Croatia were terrible. I mean, terrible. They are not the same Croatia team that got to the World Cup final in 2018. And I'm happy for Sterling. He answered his critics. Kane he didn't really have much support, to be fair to him, but my goodness, he was so poor in that match. Southgate put square pegs in Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta style round holes. I think he was trying to make a point about why he took so many right backs, deliberately played one at left back. When you have Chilwell and Luke Shaw, it's quite incredible, really, isn't it? So for me, I'm not sure if it is really coming home. And if I hear that song one more time, I might smack my head against the wall. Just stop. Get to the final, and then we'll talk. But until then, to me, it's just another tournament where I'm going to build up my hopes and hope England do well, and I'll just be disappointed. So I'm not going to get excited after beating a very poor Croatia side, and watch Scotland find their form against England on Friday. It's going to be insane, because that's the kind of shit that happens. That's how shit happens. Calvin Phillips was definitely a shining star. It's great to see talent emerge at these tournaments. It's what I love about these tournaments. I remember being an England fan watching Michael Owen. That goal against Argentina was like, pow, Gaza, pow. really special. Calvin Phillips isn't as flashy though as those players, but my goodness, what an impact he had. He made Declan Rice look elevated. He's a good player. He's a really good player. But I was thinking, how much more dynamic would England have been with maybe an Ollie Watkins up front, as opposed to Harry Kane looked laboured. Is he fit? I'm not sure. Is Southgate going to just keep picking him because he's the golden boy? I hope not, because I think they could be faster. I think they could have penetrated more. I just think Kane looked off. So for me, I'm going to hold the mayo on the fact that it's coming home, because I'm not quite sure if it is indeed coming home. I will reserve judgment. And I do hope Saka does get to play at least a game, because he deserves it. Right. That is today's Monday Madness. I hope the heaviness of the beginning or the chat is it's life, guys. These are things we need to talk about. They make us think, they make us feel, they make us ponder, and that was a really big deal. Like, to see that, to witness that, parents with kids having to explain that. It's not easy, right? And I just think sometimes we need to just give athletes a bit of a break. I mean, even here in the NBA, like those players, the way they played in the bubble, and now they had a short break. And you look at all the injuries that have occurred. Same thing with MLS, it happening here in the United States. This is why there have been so many injuries this season in Europe. Players need a break. They're human too. They can't just go to a lab that Gary Oldman has in a movie, or I've got the wrong good guy, bad guy. I'm sure of it, because I don't watch those comic book movies, and just get like an injection and like you grow muscles and then you can just go fight the world and defeat everybody. It just doesn't work that way. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them. And I really appreciate you guys joining me tonight. I hope that everyone's healthy and happy, and, let's just keep being positive, and let's just keep, trying to talk the good talk and fight the good fight and be good people and be kind, and understand that, life has a lot of ups and downs, and we may not know what's happening in people's lives. And there's one thing I would tell you to go watch tonight that will make you smile and laugh, because I tell you something, maybe it's my generation, but if you haven't seen The Kaminsky Method, oh my gosh, just binge watch season 1, 2, and 3. That show is so cool, because it deals with life and getting older and maximizing opportunities, looking back, looking forward if you can. Just really a great TV series. And I didn't know if season 3 was going to work without the best friend, but my goodness, it was genius. I loved it. So enjoy that and go check it out. Treasure all that you have. Love and appreciate life. We will be back tomorrow. We're going to do a little transfer stuff tomorrow. I know you want it. So we're going to do it. I'm prepared. Let's talk. Let's have a real talk about transfers. I'm not going to talk about who we're in for, who we're this, who we're that. Let's talk about where we're going, what we're thinking. Are we going to make these moves? It's so ridiculous that we're attached to absolutely everybody. It's never going to happen. Let's be realistic. So tomorrow night we'll have a bit of a chat about that. We're going to be back Wednesday with Kevin. We'll do a little bit of post-Italy, Germany tomorrow night as well. Maybe there's a player we can identify in that match that we want to buy. And then Friday, Kevin Says returns as well. So look out for more announcements. Another biggie coming tomorrow. A few more down the line. The squad is growing for next season. We're going to have experts, engaging people, really good folks talking to you about the beautiful game week in, week out, every single day. And until then, all I can say is be safe. Sending you guys love, big hugs. I needed a hug. I needed to hang out with you guys tonight too. And I really, really appreciate every single one of you. Now I want you to go over to the Gooners podcast and go give Magic Mike some love, okay? If you can do that for me, that would be wonderful. Until tomorrow, I will say to you, good night and God bless. Take care.